morning friends, hope you all are doing good. Today's section we can see about congestion control algorithm and traffic aware routing algorithms. So first, what is congestion? Let's see what is congestion. Congestion generally it occurs only in transport and network layer. Actually, when transport layer start transmitting the packets and when there is a tagging of packets, then there occurs some traffic. So in general, congestion is nothing but a traffic in network. Okay, so it generally occurs only in transport and network layer. After transporting all the packets from transport layer, and when transport layer it shifts the packets to network layer, there occurs some congestion. So in this section we can see what are the possible solutions to avoid congestions, or what are the necessary steps we have to take to prevent congestions. So too many packets, when too many packets are present in network, it causes a packet delay and loss. Packet delay is nothing but when the time exceeds for sending a packet, so it wait for longer time, or when the time gets out, the packet is retransmitted or it gets lost. So this is the main cause for congestions. So for these reasons, performance gets very delayed or performance gets very worse. So this is a common reason for congestions. So what are the steps we can take to avoid congestions, or what are the prevention we can take to avoid congestions? So effects of congestion. If a congestion occurs, what will occur? So if a congestion occurs in a transport layer to network layer, first the delay increases. So when delay increases, obviously the performance gets decreases. Okay. So next, if delay increases, receiver end thinks that packet is get lost, so it retransmit the packets again. This in case occurs duplicates of packets. So this is two main worst situation that causes of congestions. So for example, in early internet, on bandwidth for internet is very low. So obviously the processing time or sending time is obviously very slow. For example, consider the bandwidth for about 56 kbps link. So when the bandwidth is slow, normally we set then packet delay time for every packets. So when the bandwidth is slow and when it fails to transmit the packets, obviously the packet, the receiver end thinks that the packet is get lost, so it again send a message to a sender that I didn't receive the packet, so resend. So in case again the copies of the packets are sent, so this gets a very worst situation that copies of same packet will be delivered to a network. So this is a main disadvantages in earlier internet. So how can we come across this? So next, time delay packets can be avoided to some extent, but if the failure itself, the entire network gets failure, how can we go through the situations? For example, if the network sending a packets get failure, how can we know that a packet is not received? So in this situations, the entire packets along the networks get distracted. So waiting time, everything gets waiting time get increases, and a network keep waiting for receiver end, waiting at receiver end. So unfortunately, these congestions cannot be avoided. What is the best situation is, we have to design a network where the congestion control is at least to prevent it to some extent. First we should know the difference between the congestion control and flow control. Both are same to some extent, both are same, but congestion occurs in network layer. Okay, for network layer only causes a traffic, but flow control is between the sender and particular receiver end, flow control. So that is solution is that at a receiver end, the receiver can send a slow down message back to the sender that the receiver is not receiver didn't get the load, so kindly retransmit the packets. So this is one common solution for controlling, not a controlling, for just knowing the sender that the packet didn't arrive. Then what are the approaches to congestion control? How can we able to control, or what can we do, some steps to control the congestion control? First, we have to design a network that is very suited for transmitting the packets, so that the congestion can be reduced to small extent. So second solution, first solution is either to increase the resources. When the number of resources get increased, we can split the pockets into various resources and send back to the receiver. So second is to decrease the load, that is the weight of the packet. If the packet can hold 1 MB, we can at least decrease for about 0.5 MB, so that when the receiver end, so the flow is very easy, so that a receiver can receive the packet in speed manner. So these are the two basic solutions we can do to control the congestions. First, next we can have when a bandwidth is low in network, these two causes congestion. So we can increase the bandwidth also. If the bandwidth increases, the rate of the networks also get increases. To some extent, when we are using a high-end bandwidth, we can avoid congestion to some extent. Then basic solution is we can add the resources dynamically. That is, when we are needing resources, when a traffic occurs, we can add the resources dynamically. So at that situation, we can split up the packets into various resources and we can direct the routers to different path. So this procedure is called provisioning. So this mainly depends on the bandwidth also and additional spare routers also. To some extent, this is very cost effective, but it can control a congestion to some extent. So traffic aware routing. In congestion, we have many approaches and many algorithms, and a basic algorithm is traffic aware routing. Traffic aware routing is nothing but when we are entering into a network, existing network, we have to know about the traffic patterns. So before sending packets, if we know the traffic patterns, we can able to allow the resources to allocate properly. So this may avoid many problems we face during congestions. So we can activate some networks and we can deactivate some networks to some extent. By doing this, we can avoid congestion to some extent. For example, some in radio station, they will send a helicopter around the cities to report an road congestion, so that the passengers or the passengers can take a different route. So avoid this traffic, they can redirect to different directions. This is called traffic aware routing. Similarly, this in a network system, we can say the sender or receiver that the network is having traffic here, so please don't send along this path. So this is a basic solution for congestions. How can we say that a network is already in traffic? So this we can see in traffic aware routing. So first, the main objective of traffic aware routing is to find optimum routes, that is to find the right path to send the packets, and also along with that we have to consider the load of the packet, the weight that the packet carries. So considering these two, we can avoid the traffic to some extent. If the link, first we have to set and wait for an packets. After setting a wait, then we have to set a link from a sender to receiver. If in fixed connections, they follow the same path, and the propagation delay, traffic awareness, everything will be observed during queue time. But in if fixed connection only, we can have all this in account. But in virtual connections, there is no possibilities for knowing all these. So there have to first fix the connections. Only these pockets from sender to receiver, a pocket is going through a fixed connections. So we can track that these pockets are going along the path. So we can have an account, and everything we can update in routing table. So here, for example, consider here this is a network where a traffic occurs. Okay, this is in both directions. For example, if we are trying to send a packets from E1 to F1, we are sending packets from E1 to F1 from this direction to north to south, for example. But already if there is an E1 in routing table, we can know that all the updates will be there. How many packets are already in queue, everything we can know from routing table. You already know that routing table and its updates. Okay, if you are sending packets from E1 to F1, but that route is already in traffic, we came to know that we are already that route is in packet. What can we do in this situations? We can, first situation that we can either change the route or we can decrease the weight load, so that receiver end can receive the packets in some even though time delays, packet can be received in consistent manner. So second path is what in traffic aware routing we have to take different path. So we have to go through the routing table that which path is available free or which path can shortest path, which path can reach through easily. So if E1 and F1 is traffic, we have to go through E and F path. In routing table all the updates will be available, so we can choose the another path. First step we have to consider E1 and F1. So heavily congested, already we seen that already that route is congested. So what is the further step? We have to choose, next we have to choose the weight of the pocket and another path to send the pockets. So after in routing table, after updating the account of E1 and F1, we have to change the link, change the network link, that is E and F link. Okay. So the routing table suggests that E and F only have the faster route. So we have to, what we have to do? So the packet we are sending from E1 to F1, now we are transmitting through to E and F. So we have to update that in routing table. So in that situations what occurred? Routing table is already having some accounts. So after updating this, there will be some fluctuations. So entire entry in routing table gets disturbed to some extent. Okay. So next everything gets changed, so that we can't guess the behavior, routing behavior and potential network issues. So that causes then major issues here. So what we can do is we have to focus on bandwidth and propagation delay. Rather than a load and shortest path, we have to focus on bandwidth and propagation delay. Even though E and F have a shortest route, we don't have an exact point that pockets reach safely. So apart from that, when we consider a bandwidth and propagation delay from routing table, we came to know that at least that the pockets can be sent speed to some extent without any loss or any damage. So while considering the shortest path, we have also focused on bandwidth and propagation delay. So this helps to some extent from routing oscillations. It helps to some extent to avoid or prevent routing oscillations. So this is the common issues we are facing in traffic aware routing. So what is the solution for this? Next we can go through multiple paths to have a multiple paths for networks. So these are all about congestion control algorithm and traffic aware routing. So hope you all came to know the steps and procedures to be followed. Thank you for watching.